The green and gold couldn't be playing any better as the pennant chase is on. Winners of 6 of their last 7 games, Bowmel and the boys are peaking at just the right time. Today, the division-leading Texas Rangers come to town to open up a 3-game set, and the Athletics will be looking to continue their solid play of baseball as they sit just 1 game out of first place. But it won't be easy. The Rangers have been one of the hottest teams in the league and have given the A's fits all season long. It's game 1 of 3. A's, Rangers, next. Happy Labor Day, everybody. It is day baseball from the O.K Coliseum. Those youngsters know what's going on. That's your pitching matchup. Holland and Straley. Holland, a good left-hander. Dan Straley coming off a win in Detroit. So those two guys will square off in game 1 of this 3-game series, and it's a big series. It's the Rangers and the Athletics coming up on Comcast Sportsnet California. The standings will tell you why it's a big series. The Rangers have just a 1-game lead over the Athletics in the division. The A's are the #1 wild card team right now in the American League. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Oakland A's Baseball, along with Ray Fossey. I'm Glenn Kuiper. Indeed, September baseball is upon us. Not a bad way to start it with a great series between the A's and the Rangers. And Ray, Dan Straley gets the ball today. He got a win in his last start in Detroit, and after kind of a rough patch, he pitched pretty well against the Tigers.
He pitched great, considering he gave up 7 hits in the first 3 innings, would give up only 8 throughout the game. Just a home run by Torrey Hunter. But you're going to see some highlights here of a great slider, something that's very important for Dan Straley to be successful. He has the breaking pitch. Sometimes he throws too many strikes. He threw these out of the strike zone, a great slider, and after giving up those hits in the first 3 innings, settled down. Of course, the offense was really supporting him. The Kuiper's pitched on Memorial Day, 4th of July, Labor Day. He's won in those first 2. See if he can do it again today.
Derek Holland to the mound for the Rangers. His 3rd start against the A's this year, Ray. His last start was in August, the 4th of August. It was about as good as we've seen him.
That was the big final game of the series, and he was outstanding. He's got a great fastball he uses in the inside part of the plate. Also has a hard slider. He's a big game pitcher. He likes these situations. For the Rangers, they're pitching their best leading off this series. Of course, Darvish would like to say something about that, but Holland is good. If you sit fastball, you're going to get at least 1 every at bat. You might as well take advantage of it.
All right, so the Rangers with just a 1-game lead over the Athletics in the division. These two teams have 6 games left against each other, 3 here in Oakland and then 3 in Arlington. So it should be a fun 3 days of baseball. A's coming off a sweep of the Rays. They'll try to stay hot against the Rangers. Lineups and first pitch from the Coliseum when we come back.
California, is brought to you by Jack in the Box. Go big at a participating Jack in the Box with Jack's really big chicken sandwich combos for only $3.99 plus tax.
Australia and the Athletics take the field in the gold tops this afternoon. Hope you're having a wonderful Labor Day. And we have day baseball coming up from the Coliseum. Start of a big series, the A's and the Rangers. Game time weather presented by the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. Get to the beach. The admission-free boardwalk is open this weekend. 79 degrees. Not a beautiful day. A few clouds in the sky. We've got a day game today. Day game on Wednesday as well. Let's take a look at the lineup this afternoon for the Texas Rangers. Leonis Martin leads off in center. Jerkson Profar at short is Elvis Andrus out with a little bit of a sore back. Kinsler will hit third. Beltre having another big season. Brzezinski in the fifth spot. Rios in right. Moreland at first. Lance Berkman back off the disabled list. He'll be the designated hitter. And David Murphy is in left field batting ninth.
Dan Straley on the mound for the Athletics, and you can look back to a couple of games that he started against the Rangers in mid-May. The 15th of May here, 21st of May in Arlington. Here he lost, gave up 4 earned runs, but a brilliant performance in Arlington, Texas. 7 innings of 2-hit baseball. The A's winning by a score of 1-0. So Straley would like the game that he pitched in Arlington and do the same here. It is Labor Day, and as we mentioned, he's a holiday pitcher, you could say. He likes to pitch on the holidays.
Cespedes, Crisp, and Young in the outfield for the A's. Donaldson, Lowry, Callaspo, and Fryman on the infield. And Kurt Suzuki is behind the plate. And we're set to go as Leonis Martin steps in, the left-handed hitter. And Straley's first pitch is up and away for ball one.
107.
So, you know the story. The Rangers with a 1-game lead in the AL West. After today, each team will have 25 games left. Swing and a miss, and it's 1-2.
3 pitches, 3 fastballs, 3 about belt high. And for Dan Straley, we know the success for him. It's really dependent on him getting the ball down and just trying to get through this. Kurt Suzuki caught him last start in Detroit, got through that game.
And another fastball, and Leonis Martin swings through it. And that's the first strikeout for Straley.
I think Kurt Suzuki, we have seen whenever he has caught, he tries to get the pitcher to establish this pitch, the number 1, and fastball, little tailing fastball starts inside. You see the two-seam grip, see the movement, it starts in, just keeps floating away, and a swing and a miss by Martin.
Expo brought to you by Cache Creek Casino Resort. Here's Jerkson Profar, who takes a strike, switch hitter.
One thing Straley did on the 21st of May in Arlington, Texas, he's doing again this afternoon, and that's standing on top of the mound, getting the baseball, and as soon as the hitter steps in the box, he's pitching, he's throwing, and getting in a nice rhythm, nice pace.
So Profar down in the count, 0-2. And that one's driven to center. Coco's going to get back. He's got it, and that's out number 2.
Suzuki wanted the pitch up and out of the strike zone. It was up. Profar hit it well, but biggest part, deepest part,
that is Michael Choice in the big leagues, and today in the lineup. He's going to be the designated hitter today. So maybe a few butterflies for Michael Choice. So we're looking forward to seeing him.
All he has to do is play like he did in spring training. When we saw him down there, he was outstanding. Played in center field, played it like he'd been there for 10 years.
First pitch to Kinsler, breaking ball that's to the backstop. The Rangers were at home over the weekend. They lost 2 out of 3 to the Minnesota Twins. Bit of a surprise there.
I think what the Rangers are running up against is offense, which they have a lot, but maybe some inconsistencies where they can score and then all of a sudden it just shuts down for some reason, especially their home park.
Line drive into the glove of Donaldson, and Straley has a 3-up, 3-down top of the first inning. Bottom of the first coming up. Coco Crisp is going to lead it off. He's a hot hitter. Donaldson, Lowry, Cespedes, Fryman, Caspo, Young, Suzuki, and Michael Choice.
Derek Holland, as we highlighted, he can pitch well as he did in the early August. Good fastball. That was the third final game of the series after the A's defeated Matt Garza on the Saturday. And 9-6 record for this left-hander with a 3 ERA. Good fastball, good slider. He's allowed 14 home runs. So Ron Washington would like to see him go deep in the game. The A's would like to see him exit early in the game. See what happens.
So Holland faced Crisp here in the bottom of the first inning. 7th season for Ron Washington. There's 3 straight trips to the postseason for the Texas Rangers. They're trying to make it 4 straight. Crisp hitting .258 with 16 home runs and 48 runs batted in. And he hits a one bouncer right to Beltre, who was playing in, and Beltre takes care of Coco Crisp, and that's out number 1. Let's look at the defense for the Rangers today. Murphy, Martin, and Rios in the outfield. Beltre, Profar, Kinsler, Moreland on the infield, and A.J. Brzezinski is the catcher. So Ray, our first look at Alex Rios in a Rangers uniform. He was acquired on the 9th of August, 4 days after Nelson Cruz was suspended.
And we thought it might be a little difficult for that to happen because it was after the July 31st non-waiver trading deadline. But Alex Rios had a big contract, huge contract with the Toronto Blue Jays, picked up by the Chicago White Sox. So if there's ever a reason a player could be traded, is that someone does not want to take on a contract. The Rangers willing to do it, considering Nelson Cruz is going to miss the remainder of the season, regular season. He's eligible for postseason if they make it, and if they want to bring him back.
Rios has 1 more year left on that contract, so he'll be a Ranger next year as well. 1-1 to Donaldson. He bounces it to short. Profar has it. Throws in time, and that's out number 2. Well, at least Ron Washington, I read a couple days ago, he said that if they do make the postseason, that they would probably take Nelson Cruz back. Now he's saying that now. Who knows? It could change. There could be change of heart. Who knows?
And I think
they got to get there first.
Yeah, exactly. And I think there's a pretty good possibility that they would re-sign him beyond,
I agree.
After that. And for Nelson Cruz, you can look at him from the standpoint of being a free agent, that if he had appealed and played while the appeal was being decided, then the club that took him on would have to
be subjected to those loss of games. So I think the Rangers fortunate to get Alex Rios. While he might not have the power that Nelson Cruz has shown with the Rangers, he still is a major league outfielder. He knows how to play. The thing with the Rangers, and I think as we've talked about, money's not going to be an issue with them.
You wouldn't think.
TV contract, and they're drawing well, so they're going to have the money to spend.
Well, the Tigers are going to have a decision to make as well with Johnny Peralta.
Yeah, that's true.
Action for Rios. Eases to his left. He's got it side retired. So both pitchers have good first innings. We're headed to the second. No score. No score, top of the second inning. Season series so far, the Rangers lead the series 8-5. Runs are fairly close. Batting average close. The Rangers have out-homered the A's by a significant margin. The numbers, for the most part, not a whole lot different. But the Rangers have won 8 out of 13 with 6 to play, including today.
6 big ones.
6 big ones.
Played the first 5 months, but the 6 played in the intra-divisional series, intra-divisional play. When you have the limited number of games to be played and you're playing within your division, that's the way the schedule should be set up, so you can kind of control what you're going to be doing beyond the season.
Next weekend, the A's will be in Arlington. Part of that Minnesota Texas road trip.
Ooh, is that the Twins?
That's the Twins. They have a young team there. We're joking because we haven't seen the Twins yet this year. Chris Young makes a nice play, covering a lot of ground, and that's out number 1.
Adrian Beltre is so good, and you can get him to hit a ball to the right field towards the end of the bat. That's a good pitch, because Adrian Beltre, one of the best in the league, and the Rangers know that. They've locked him up long term, and Gold Glove third baseman with a lot of power. And what they miss in Nelson Cruz, Adrian Beltre makes up. 28 home runs, 82 runs batted in.
Here's Brzezinski. Brzezinski almost got hit. That looked like it went right between his legs somehow.
The thing is, he tried to get hit. He actually turned into it to try to get. He is aggressive, and it's a slider, and moved back initially. It looked like the left foot kind of went forward a little bit.
Swing and miss. Good fastball from Straley. And the count is 1-1. Brzezinski hitting .283 with 16 home runs.
Yeah, fastball sneaky, and so far the lefties seeing a lot of fastballs from Straley, and so far they're swinging through them.
And now it's 1-2. .58 RBIs for A.J. Brzezinski.
See the movement, although the pitch was up high, it had the movement going away from the lefty. And they're going inside.
Pops this up. Donaldson fighting that sun. And he makes the catch for out number 2. So you saw Donaldson battling that, so keep an eye on the pop-up as the game goes on.
I wonder if he was talking to himself, because there's nobody near him. He said, I got it. And Lowry said, you can have it. I fought one yesterday, and Jed had a tough time on a ball in shallow left field. But when they see the infielder, outfielder, they put the glove up, and they're shading their eyes, they're just praying for the ball to come out of the sun. And you can see them kind of relax a little bit once the ball shows up and they can make the play.
1-1 to Alex Rios. Rios combined numbers with the White Sox and the Rangers: 13 homers, 62 RBIs. This is his 21st game in a Rangers uniform. And he lines that one to right, and that's a base hit down the line. Young is going to have to hustle to cut it off. Rios is going to try for 2. The throw is a bit offline, and Rios has a double.
Kind of a check swing. A pitch again that was up out of the strike zone. Slicing away from Chris Young with a location, and really just kind of maybe a late swing, and as a result Rios hit it perfectly to right field down the line, and slicing action away from Chris Young, and all the more reason for a hitter to try to go for 2, and he made it easy.
So Mitch Moreland will step in. Moreland hitting .244 with 21 home runs and 56 RBIs. He's got 4 home runs against the A's this year.
Well, the veteran Lance Berkman just activated in the on-deck circles a DH, and Berkman, although a very good hitter, professional hitter, he even contemplated retirement but decided to try to get well, which he did, and was activated. But this guy's tough at the plate. And with that in mind, and first base open, might see careful pitching to this very tough lefty.
Well, Moreland's hitting .244, but in the A's mind, because he has 4 home runs,
that's right.
You know, it seems like he's hitting .320.
That's right. Like Babe Teagarden.
That's right.
When he played for the Rangers and any other team that played against the A's.
Strike on the outside corner with a changeup. He had a 2-homer game on the 14th of May right here in Oakland.
And you know, he's good, and good changeup from Dan Straley, kind of tailing away. But at least with first base open, it gives you the luxury of saying, okay, I don't have to give in to him if I don't want to by throwing a 2-0 changeup. Kind of the thought process maybe of Kurt Suzuki and Straley.
And he rips that one foul down the right field line, and he broke his back. This is that in a big series.
Yeah, he was very, very hot here. Ball jumped off his bat alone after A.J. Griffin, and you know, it's just one of those swings at that time you're just really concerned. That was Chris Restop, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. So 2-2 the count. And that one hooked foul down the right field line. Count remains 2-2. So high fives on a nice play down the right field line. pitch is way outside. So a full count with, as Ray said, Lance Berkman waiting in the on-deck circle.
Well, there's a high fastball, so come back either with a slider down and in, go change up away. Go up, fastball again, two-seam fastball. So a lot of options for Kurt Suzuki on this 3-2.
And he went with a changeup, and Moreland a pretty good at bat.
Moreland evidently thinking along the same line. First base is open. Would they give in to him? And they did not.
Number 27, Lance Berkman.
So Lance Berkman hits now, 2 on, 2 out. Suzuki going through some signs for the infielders. Berkman 254 with 6 home runs and 34 runs batted in. He was having problems with his left hip. And that put him on the disabled list for really what amounted to a couple months.
Yeah, and that's when he had thought about hanging him up.
Yeah.
He was only going to play with Texas, and the Cardinals had him long time with the Astros.
Strike, and it's 0-2. Well, if he can be healthy for the final month, it certainly could help the Rangers.
That's a great pitch. Backdoor slider. Starts it outside. You get a good hitter to freeze on the pitch. Berkman, though, will use the whole field. He's not just a one-dimensional home run hitter.
Pops that one. It's past the A's dugout. Phil Cuzzy is calling balls and strikes today. Phil Cuzzy's been in the middle of controversy this year about 4 times. The 2 pitches, a fastball that Berkman lays off, 1-2. Rangers scored just 6 runs in that 3-game series against the Twins, 4 of them coming in the one game that they won. And that one is hooked foul. So as Ray said, at times a little inconsistent this year offensively, but more so at home, which just doesn't seem to add up.
Now with the hitters they have and playing in a hitter-friendly park.
And what they have done overall is they're 4th in the American League in runs scored. So they've actually been a very good road team this year.
Road team. And if you can do that, that makes an exceptional team.
1-2 to Berkman. Swing and a miss. Berkman chased a high fastball, so the Rangers strand a pair. Bottom of the 2nd coming up. No score. Riverside, California is brought to you by Casino Matrix, San Jose's newest entertainment destination. It's open 24/7. Visit today and see for yourself the Casino Matrix difference. Cespedes to lead it off in the bottom of the second inning. Holland had a 3 up, 3 down first, couple of ground outs and a fly ball. So 2-0 to Cespedes, hitting .228, 20 homers, 61 RBIs. 3 of those 20 home runs have come against these Texas Rangers.
Well, last year he got him a couple of times, and this was here at the Coliseum. A hanging breaking ball went down and just raked it to left field. Saw a few of those swings like that last year, and then got him at the ballpark. And just left center. Foul ball down the left field line.
So 2-2 the count. And that one's driven to left. That's hit well. Murphy's back, and that baby's gone. 1-0. The A's lead.
Talk about the fastball from Derek Holland. He will, as he did early August, and he will try to throw the fastball inside. He had success on that August 4th here, but fastball did not get in as far as he wanted against Cespedes. Cespedes 4 home runs in the month of August, his first in September, and it'll be a great time for him to kick it in high gear for this final month.
1-1 to Fryman. Fryman hitting in the 5th spot. It's the 15th home run that Holland has allowed in 181 innings, so he does not give up a huge amount of home runs.
That's right, for a starter. That's a good point. I was just thinking, worked for Nate Fryman on that August 4th. He might have pitched a no-hitter. Fryman got him 2 hits in his first 2 at-bats.
Fryman hits a high fly ball, shallow left. Murphy takes care of it, and that's out number 1.
Well, watch the bat speed for Yoenis Cespedes. So the fastball inside, and Brzezinski moves in, and that quickly, that bat head got through, and that is some serious bat speed. When you can see a hitter turn on an inside fastball mid-90s and get through the zone that quickly, that's just tremendous bat speed. It's what everybody dreams about as a hitter, to get through the hitting zone that quickly, because you can do some serious damage.
Callaspo rips one down the left field line, and Callaspo is going to have a double. Only a double of the year for Callaspo.
Now let's see what kind of adjustment Brzezinski and Holland make, because all of a sudden a couple of right-handed hitters are turning on the fastball in, and Callaspo very quickly, although it looked like Brzezinski set up outside, might have been a mislocation, but Callaspo turned on it, and with Murphy playing way off the line, that was an easy double for him.
So Chris Young steps in.
Mike Maddox, longtime pitching coach for the Rangers, brought over from Milwaukee.
Well, the Rangers have the 2nd best team ERA in the American League. The A's are tied for 3rd. So you're seeing 2 of the best all-around pitching staffs in the American League. There's a base hit center field. Martin charges, and it goes past him, and it goes all the way to the wall. Here comes Chris Young. He's digging for third. They're going to wave him out. Here comes the throw to the plate, and he is out.
He stumbled around third. I do not know what happened. Mike Geigo had him running, and if he hadn't stumbled, he'd have made it. But something happened around third. I have no idea, and Mike could not stop him after that occurred. And that's the difference of the play at the plate. But, you know, the snake effect of a baseball in the center field, and that popped up on Martin. Then he fell down, and that's where he did it right there. He did not have the full stride going at third base, and slowed him down just enough, and he knew it. That right there. You like to have the long strides, hit the bag in the same stride, and Chris Young knew it.
So it goes as a single RBI, E8. And of course, to put out at the plate.
He's running, and Mike had him going, and at that point, I don't know, might have been a serious injury if Gags had tried to stop him. I don't know if he could have stopped him once he saw him kind of half step towards.
Long run for Martin, and in front of the wall, he makes the catch. Suzuki put a charge into it. So a little excitement here in the bottom of the second inning. A's with 2 runs. Cespedes with a home run, and it's 2-0 Athletics after 2.
Hitting
2-0 the A's lead. Chris Young still trying to catch his breath. Let's look at the relay. Murphy doing a nice job.
Especially after Martin fell down, and Profar got it. And a good throw, but a short hop, as you mentioned, a short hop and a nice play by Pierzynski. And then blocked off Chris Young, who just kind of fell back. But Mike Gallego, as Chris Young was rounding second, he was waving him all the way.
Yep.
And unfortunately, when he had a kind of a half step towards third base, Gags would like to stop, but you know, you're kind of in between, because if you try to hold up and he tries to stop, he might hyperextend his knee. Who knows what can happen at that point. And then, of course, Suzuki hits a fly ball to center field, which would have scored him in a sac fly, but do not know if that would have happened. Well, watch, there's Gag, the third base coach. He's waving him all the way, and then all of a sudden there, and then Gag's face, stop! I can't stop you. And really, Chris Young at that point was committed to go to the plate. And I guess,
yeah, and you know what? You're forcing the Rangers to make 2 good relay throws. and throw from profile. I mean, he's got to make a quick relay throw.
Right. Yeah, and he doesn't know that Chris Young is stumbling or half stepping at third base, trying to hit the bag in stride.
Yeah. The play that Brzezinski made, I mean, that short hop with the catcher's glove, what's the percentage of that being caught? I mean, that's a hard play.
Yeah, it is.
And he just picked it and was able to get a tag down. There's plenty of times where a catcher will not be able to come up with that ball clean.
Well, he went down and did it as if he's blocking a ball in the dirt, and it happened to just pop up and go into his mitt.
And it was not in his mitt a lot either. There was some snow cone there, and I guess what we're saying is it's a play where I think you got to send the run.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, considering if Martin doesn't fall down, it's one thing, but he did, and that changed everything for Mike Gallego.
3-2 to Murphy, and he slaps one foul.
And you know, let's not forget that Chris Young is supposed to be one of the fastest guys on the team. Yeah, Arizona had a lot of stolen bases and good base runner. That's a long way from home to home.
Yes, it is.
These guys will find out in spring training when they're doing the running.
Cespedes is going to have to hustle. Still coming in, and he makes the catch. So Murphy pops out, and that's out number one.
It's amazing you have that kind of blazing speed, and you can kind of go at half speed, catch a ball, have everybody wondering. And in his mind, he said, "This is easy," and he didn't even turn it on to make the play.
Leadoff man Martin. There's the bunt it, and he bunts it back to the screen.
Okay, there's a situation. Second time through the batting order. Kurt Suzuki called 4 fastballs, and Martin, the first at bat, struck him out. And it's the whole thing about knowing what you've done the previous at bat. The hitter knows what he's done. He's maybe looking fastball to bunt it. Suzuki called a curveball, and he fouled it.
Back to the fastball, and it's 0-2.
Martin looks like he's got a little bit of a hitch, and by the time he goes through all that, he's having a tough time getting through the hitting zone, and as a result, Suzuki staying inside at least with that fastball. Elevate this fastball.
And it was perfectly placed, and Martin strikes out for the second time. And you're right, Ray. With that hitch he's got no chance to hit anything above the belt.
Watch what he does with his hands.
That bat just cocks a little bit.
Yeah, if you get a side view, watch, see how it wraps? When that top hand takes a little bit towards the pitcher, by the time you get back in the hitting zone, and that's just how late he is getting through. And that's why a high fastball, which Suzuki was very smart, raising the fastball, it's harder if he just has the pitch down. It's easier just to drop the hit down. You can handle a low fastball a lot better with that hitch versus a high fastball. I broke a lot of bats with that hitch.
Well,
at top
you
hand,
see guys do it.
Yeah, you get the top hand, that's all it is.
Profire hit a drive to center field that Coco Crisp caught. That one's hit toward right, but in the ballpark. Young gets back. He's got it. Side retired. 3 up, 3 down inning. Bottom of the third coming up. Michael Choice is good at it. It is first at bat as a big leaguer. He's strapping it on right now.
Batting the ninth position, designated hitter, number 35, Michael Choice.
2-0 A's lead, bottom of the third. This is Michael Choice making his major league debut. And he faces Derek Holland. First pitch is a bit high.
Had a couple of springs with the A's in Arizona, last two. Been very impressive, and of course a big moment for him. See the numbers at AAA, over 300, drove in 89 with 14 home runs.
And now it's 3-0.
And the one thing he showed in spring training, as you remember, Cam, is a quick bat. So far showing a lot of patience.
First round pick of the A's in 2010. Same draft as A.J. Griffin. Shoots that one down the right field line, but it's going to be fouled. There's the friends and family of Michael Choice. We have spotted them in the seats. So the 3-2 pitch inside, and he walked him. First walk issued by Holland.
I always think back after I see a major league debut and a walk. When Robin Ventura, the current manager of the White Sox, had a tremendous career. His first at bat was a walk. Remember Jeff Tolbert, the manager, said, best at bat I've ever seen. It's his first, and it was a walk. And here's a guy who had a 60-some-odd game hit streak at Oklahoma. Yep. Robin Ventura, and very patient. And you know, you got to get a lot of at bats, and Michael Choice will at this level. But you have to show patience. He did against a very good left-handed pitcher.
Coco to bunt. He bunts it in the air, and then it just trickles foul. So Choice heads back to first. Everybody taking a long look at Mike Gallego, the third base coach.
Remember a guy named Ricky Henderson, number 24, up on the retired number. 24, Ricky Henderson. His first number is 35. I want to say 35 was the number.
I think you're right. And
then went to 24, of course, retired for the Hall of Famer. So maybe Steve Vucinich has a reason for all these things and given numbers. Choice has that type of speed. He's not Ricky Henderson fast or base stealing ability, but who knows?
Double track, shading his eyes, although just a touch of cloud cover right now. So he takes care of Coco Crisp, and that's out number one. So Donaldson will hit.
Number 20, Josh Donaldson.
Well, keep an eye on Coco. Shaking out that, looked like his left leg a little bit. Donaldson grounded out to short in the first inning. Donaldson's average now sitting at 291. And he went around, and it's 1-1. Donaldson just a little over anxious. Choice with a decent lead at first. Stole one base in AAA this year. Inches off a little further. Strike on the inside corner. Donaldson checks in with Phil Cuzzy.
And a quick pitch. Namath looked to first base and then very quickly unloaded to the plate. Josh Donaldson started but held up on a fastball in. Even though a couple of hits been given up on the fastball, he is staying in that location.
Tries to run that fastball in there again. He's with 2 runs in the second inning. And Brzezinski kind of got in the way of that one as it bounced way out in front of home plate.
Well, you just try to throw your body, and Brzezinski has a big body. Just try to put it in front of it, and did hit off his chest protector midsection. Still a fan favorite every time he's introduced to the Bay Area. Jackie Moore, bench coach for Ron Washington, former manager of the A's back in '86.
Donaldson swings and misses, and that's the first strikeout for Derek Holland.
Well, A.J. Brzezinski behind the plate, there's not a lot of times, and we have seen him call a lot of off-speed pitches and hitters counts in 3-2. Breaking ball, slider, curveball, down and out of the strike zone. Similar pitch that Donaldson swung and missed in the first strike.
Lowry hit a fly ball to Rios to end the first inning in right field. Cespedes would be next. He's got a home run today.
Talked about the pace of Dan Strader and how quickly he's on the mound, getting inside and throwing, and kind of just the opposite of Holland. Of course, he's been in trouble. Was not in the first inning on 1-2-3, but trouble from the second, and now here with runner on base.
And that was pitch number 39, so his pitch count is not bad. Like a lot of pitchers will slow things down when runners get on base.
Hitters help that too, because they slow down as well.
That's a good point.
Out of the box looking for signs from the third base coach.
Rios in a couple steps. He's got it side retired. So Michael Choice at his first major league at bat draws the leadoff walk. The A's do nothing with it. 2-0 after 3. of the Rangers and the Athletics, each one. If you think you know the answer, tweet us at CSN Athletics. Last year was one for the Athletics. 2010 and 2011, the Rangers won the AL West. So you're going to have to dig back a little further.
Think back to Juan Gonzalez, the late Johnny Oates managing.
Yeah, all right. So here's our hint. They became the Rangers in 1972. They did not make it to the postseason until 1996. So between 72 and 96, there were no division titles.
Came from Washington, D.C.
Good swing by Kinsler, and the count is 2-2. Kinsler, Beltre, Brzezinski here in the top of the fourth inning. Hayes with a 2-0 lead.
And remember the Holland game. First 2 outs, and then Kinsler hit a ball to left field that Cespedes just couldn't handle, and then Beltre brought him in, and just everything fell apart for the A's in that series finale.
Donaldson, nice play. Kinsler's retired, and that's out number 1.
Donaldson normally will stop and throw using his strong arm, but that time, knowing the speed of Kinsler, he decided to make the play, and with his momentum just threw off balance, and was enough on the throw with the big Nate Fryman stretching at first. Anytime you get Kinsler out, who normally has been Ron Washington's leadoff hitter, but he has moved him down the 3rd spot. Changed around a little bit, figured that Kinsler eventually would be in that 3, 4, 5 spot of the lineup.
And Beltre smokes one to left. Cespedes will get that nice hop, and he's going to throw it back in, and Beltre's got to stay at first. So that's a big defensive play. Cespedes does that so well. I don't know if he just puts himself in the right position, but you see this a lot where the ball comes off the wall and he barehands it and gets it quickly back in.
And Beltre's thinking too, and you're right, it came back for him to make the throw. Beltre about halfway to second, and you talk about putting on some serious brakes. And watch it running. Ooh. He's always got a little flair to him, doesn't he?
So that's the second hit, and here's Brzezinski. And right up the middle, and Lowry has it. He'll spin and throw to first to get Brzezinski at first. Beltre to second, but now 2 outs.
Well, ideally, Lowry would have liked to have been able to cut in front, catch the ball around the bag, tag the bag, and complete the double play. But once it got through Straley, took it behind his momentum, and where Beltre was, very good play by Jed Lowry on the curveball. Maybe slowed down a little bit by the mound. But Lowry's momentum and Beltre close to second, and no chance to get the force. PFP, major position. He couldn't do it. Ball under the glove of Straley instead of a. Well, you figure Brzezinski is going to be a double play if you get the lead runner, because he does not run fast.
So here's Rios. Rios doubled to right in the second inning. He was stranded. Rios tried to hold up. He could not, says Chris Guccione, and the count is even at 1-1.
How many times have we talked about that, where this play, and look at Phil Cuzzy, the home plate umpire, I'm not going to make the call. You feel the first, I'll let you do it. That's the way it should be done. We might not even see Adrian Beltre if he has a check swing deferring to first base, because Cuzzy looks like he's going to do it.
Fastball is inside. Outfield shades Rios toward right center just a little bit. Cespedes off the line and left. Suzuki blocks it, then scrambles after it, and now it's 3-1. On deck is Mitch Moreland.
Kurt, as always, very mobile. Moved to his right, squared himself up to the ball in the dirt, and a nice block.
So Straley, like Holland, slowing things down with the runner on base. Popped up foul. So Rios got a 3-1 fastball at 90 miles an hour, and just a little late. We've seen that a little bit with the Rangers hitters. So
see the location, though, it was up a little bit, and
miles per hour comes into play some, but there may be a little late life to Straley's fastball today.
I think we've seen that since he's joined the club last year, and with all the strikeouts in the minor leagues, there's a reason.
3-2 pitch is lofted to shallow left. Lowry out, Cespedes coming in. Lowry is going to reach up, make the catch. Side retired, and the Rangers strand another runner in scoring position. Bottom of the fourth coming up, 2-0 A's. Oh, we're having a wonderful Labor Day holiday. First Monday in September. The kids are back in school. Pennant races are heating up. Must be Labor Day.
I like the last part of it. Pennant race. You can have the carpool. I've been through that. You're good at that. I know this. You got to be a good carpool guy, don't you?
Yeah. A chance to talk to your kids in the morning. Kind of nice.
That's right.
Moreland is going to have a play in foul territory. Cespedes is retired. This is what Cespedes did in the second inning.
Well, they tried to do the same thing that they just accomplished, but it didn't work on the first because Cespedes got the fastball in and crushed it to left center over the Xfinity sign. 21st for Cespedes. Driven in 62.
So one out for Big Nate Fryman, who had a fly ball to shallow left in the second. Fryman had a nice month of August, hit .346 in the month. This one tapped toward Beltre, and on the run, he throws him out.
Fifth issue of Athletics Magazine, showcasing Josh Donaldson and A.J. Griffin is now available. Get the scoop on Jared Parker, break down Brandon Moss's swing, and go way inside the numbers with Director of Baseball Operation Farhan Zaidi. The new issue is available at the O.co Coliseum team stores or online at oakland.com/magazine. That's our favorite. Josh Donaldson, A.J. Griffin.
First pitch to Callaspo is a bit high. Callaspo had a double, and then he scored on that Chris Young ball to center field. Callaspo as an athletic is at 278. But a valuable addition, the fact that he can hit from both sides of the plate, maybe is the most important thing. A little depth. Fouled straight back.
One of the things that Callaspo is doing or has done since he joined the club is put Jed Lowry at shortstop, and that's it. He'd been moving back and forth depending on the pitcher. A left-hander, short, maybe right-hander goes second base, but now he's pretty much locked in at shortstop position, making him happy.
I think Jed Lowry, not going to complain, but you're right. I think his preference is to stay at one position.
And as Jed has said, that he's played more games. He's playing in September, as we mentioned, never been done before. But the fact that Bob Melvin is DHing as a possibility, occasionally using the DH, which is able to get him off his feet. So he's appreciative of that. Keeps his bat in the lineup. 41 doubles for the A's shortstop.
Fastball is inside, and it's a walk. Callaspo board for the second time. So Holland 2 walks and just 1 strikeout so far. And this is a guy who has the 7th most strikeouts in the American League.
I think
8th best ERA, so maybe not quite as sharp today.
Well, maybe the difference so far, and it's just the 4th inning and a lot of baseball remaining, but fastball location inside has not been as good, which really sets up the slider, the curveball inside the same right-handers. They think fastball in, they get the breaking pitch, swing over it.
And there is big breaking ball. And grabs the outside corner to Chris Young. There's the ranks for Holland. 11th in the league in innings pitched, so good season for the left-hander. Chris Young and a good rip foul at that.
Well, lost in all this with Chris Young. In fact, he brought in a run with a base hit up the middle, scored Callaspo, but when Martin missed the ball, looked up, the ball bounced over his glove, off to the races, and Chris Young kind of misstepped towards third base just enough to slow him down, and be thrown out at the plate.
Well, it's not uncommon, Ray, for how shape you're in. You get to third, you're usually leaking oil a little bit.
Oh, that piano really gets heavy.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, you're right, because in spring training and kind of the running, they'll start you at home plate, you run, sprint to first base, go back to home. Do that a couple times, then you run to second base, and then kind of get back towards front. But then finally, when you go to the triple and the home run, the inside park, you're gassing, man. I mean, you're really looking for some help, some oxygen, because that is a long way around. And show-offs of the guys that really can run fast. I think of the great Willie Davis, you know, the tall Dodger who went from home to third, the triple. I mean, it's such a great play, the triple is. And anytime you see a good base runner go for a triple, it's an exciting play. Jamil Weeks, still think about him hitting triples when he's with the A's. And back again now.
So it was 0-2. Now it's 3-2. There's Jamil.
He's ready, as all the guys are. Came up yesterday. One of them playing today, and Michael Choice.
Two outs. Runner goes, and it's another walk. Back-to-back 2-out walks.
MLB.TV celebrates 11 years. Catch the rest of the 2013 season in HD quality. Watch every out-of-market game live and on more than 350 mobile and connected devices. Visit MLB.TV today. MLB.TV baseball everywhere. And we can attest the fact that in HD quality on your mobile phone, your iPads. Whoa. I think Mr. Washington is letting Mr. Holland know, because 2 quick outs. Really, the first 2 with Cespedes and Fryman. He did it with 3 pitches. 3-2 to Cayespo, 9 pitches. 3-2 to Young, with 6 pitches. And probably the one to Young, the 3-2 slider that started him with a good breaking ball for a strike, but then 3-2. Brzezinski called it again, and he missed, and Chris Young went out off red. I think Wash is heated.
So Holland to face Suzuki, and the first pitch is inside. So 1-0 to Kurt, who hit a long fly ball to center in the second inning. There's a line drive, but right into the glove of Profar, side retired. A's strand a pair. And we are through 4. It's the A's 2 and the Rangers nothing.
Great pies, the only pies worthy.
Baseball. Comcast Sportsnet California's Authentic Fan Fridays at the Coliseum. This Friday, get a ticket in our value deck behind home plate, an authentic A's flag, a cheer card, and a $6 food and drink voucher for one great price. The best deal in Bay Area baseball is Comcast Sportsnet's Authentic Fan Friday. Log on to csncalifornia.com for details. The Astros will be in town. That'll be a 4-game series. the value deck right above us. Astros are playing right now at home, tied 6-6 in the ninth to the Twins. Moreland to lead it off here in the 5th inning. First pitch is outside. As always, there's big series going on and a lot of day games around Major League Baseball. The Tigers shut out the Red Sox today 3-0 at Fenway. The Orioles and the Indians are starting a series, and Baltimore has a 3-0 lead in Cleveland in the 4th inning. So both the Indians and the Orioles trying to make a move in that wild card. Derek Holland got out of the jam, did not allow any runs in that last inning. Still doesn't seem too happy about the situation. Probably not happy that his manager yelled at him on the mound either.
Well, he's a left-handed pitcher. The worst thing he could do is go in the dugout and start using his left hand, left arm to do anything. You know, do it with the right arm.
And the 3-1 pitch outside, and that's a leadoff one. So Moreland walks for the second time.
Australia's first 3 pitches out of the strike zone, and we have seen Dan on occasion when he just kind of lost a 4-pitch walk, and he did throw a strike 3-0, but then the next one was tailed outside.
So Berkman steps in. Berkman struck out with 2 on and 2 out to end the 2nd inning. His 2 hits for the Rangers. And first pitch is outside.
Suzuki had been calling the fastballs in. The ball started tailing a little bit, but now pitchers are missing outside. He might make the adjustment and go inside, try to allow for that pitch, or call it a slider. She does, but still misses.
Australia has 3 strikeouts in the game. Kurt Young comes out. Don't know that Kurt Young will yell at Dan Straley like Ron Washington yelled at Derek Holland. So Kurt takes care of his business
Calmly.
Count 2-0. Murphy in the on deck circle. After Murphy would be the top of the order. Australia. Quick check, and the 2-0 pitch popped up. Lowry back, Cespedes in, and Cespedes will get there, and he's got it.
All right, Kurt, walk out again now. Have another conversation. Worked on that one. 2-0, and in a sense, I'm glad Lance Berkman has missed some time, because he got a fastball 2-0 that in his good days, who knows, he might have been laying the bat down softly, which he always does, and try to run a base.
Does not look like it's there. Struck out in the 2nd inning. Here's Murphy. Murphy hits a high pop-up foul. Murphy hit a fly ball to left field in the 3rd inning. Another foul ball left side. We've seen a lot of off-field foul balls by the Rangers.
And you know, they're fly balls that are just kind of swinging at and not driving the ball. And there's your biggest difference, because it's one thing to get the pitch outside, but if you just kind of guide, almost protecting. But in the case of Murphy, the first 2 pitches have been out there, and it's kind of an easy swing, not driving the ball.
close pitch. 1-2.
Change up. It's coming.
And it's cued foul. Murphy's 11 for 41 against the A's this year. Let's go. Got a home run. Average is way down for Murphy this year, hitting .220. And now it's 2-2. The Yankees are beating the White Sox 9-1 in the 8th inning in New York. The Red Sox, even though they lost today, decent lead in that East. Driven to center. Coco now going back, still going back, and it is gone. Hit the front facing of where the cameramen and women are, and that is a two-run homer for Murphy, and we're tied at 2. Well, there was plenty of bat speed there, right?
Yeah, and they got the 90-mile-an-hour fastball after missing a couple of changeups, and that quickly. But the leadoff walk to Moreland, and then a high fastball, and Murphy got the bat head through the zone and straight away center, and that quickly. A's scored 2 in 1 inning, and Murphy's one swing, the 9th place hitter, and ties it.
So his 13th home run of the year, and it is again, it hits the facing of where the camera folks are up there. One now to Martin.
That definitely hit above Coco right jumping, and it did hit the box.
That hangs out, maybe even hangs out over the fence just a little bit. Swing and miss, 1-2. Here's where our great camera operators do their thing. Couple of strikeouts for Martin, both swinging. See if Straley goes back to that good fastball that Martin seems to be a little late on. Now 3-2, still only 1 out. Murphy with a home run. Swing and a miss, struck him out again.
But consistent. There's a difference of the little hitch by Martin and not by Murphy, because similar location of the fastball, and Martin under the pitch but did not catch up to the fastball. But not the case with Murphy, who started the bat 0-2, found a couple of changeups, and got a fastball.
Really great if Martin keeps that little hitch, he's never going to hit that pitch.
Not a high fastball, as long as the pitcher can throw it in that area. And you have to keep doing it until he makes an adjustment to hit it.
0-1 to Jurickson Profar. Profar has hit a fly ball to center, hit a fly ball to right. Missed again, 2-1. And now 3-1. 24 pitches this inning for Straley. And that one is hooked foul down the right field line.
Lucky that ball was inside.
Yep. So this inning and the second inning have gotten to Dan Straley a little bit. Profar takes a walk. ERA by inning for Straley, and it looks like in this inning, right, it almost looks like you can tell that
Number 5.
the Rangers hitters have seen Straley a little bit now. They're laying off pitches that it almost looked like in the first 2 or 3 innings that they were not laying off.
Well, they still just have 3 hits, but unfortunately in this inning 2 walks and a big one to lead off the inning.
So movement in the bullpen. Jerry Blevins starts to throw.
Watching Dave Magadan, the hitting coach for the Rangers, down in the tunnel as he is standing next to somebody, and guess what he was demonstrating? A little hitch by Martin, just talking about it. And probably something the Mags would talk to him later, but maybe not during the game.
And we've talked a lot about it, and we're specifically talking about one hitter. Doesn't mean that the guy won't be able to hit at the big league level. I mean, Martin has shown that he can hit. It's just you're a little bit exposed to one spot, and if the guy has good control, he's probably going to each up a little bit. Otero now joins Blevins.
You have a deficiency, something that's going on, they will expose you. They'll keep going there, and until you make an adjustment.
Want to know the count to Kinsler, who has lined out and grounded out both times to third base. Popped up. Fryman is going to have a play. Kinsler is 0 for 3, side retired, but the Rangers tie it on David Murphy's 2-run homer. We're headed to the bottom of the 5th. The Rangers and the Athletics each won. Rangers 5. First in 1996, the A's have won 15 division titles. First time was 1971. And of course, the A's have won 4 World Series titles here in Oakland. The Rangers have never won a World Series title. And the throw is not close, and Choice is aboard. It was a routine play, and Beltre's throw was nowhere near first base. I don't know if we've ever seen him do that.
Never. I can't ever remember. And as soon as he did, he put both hands. If you ever watch him after he makes a throw, he just puts both hands next to his head and just can't believe how far offline the throw was. Watch out what happens afterwards. And he had just, Moreland did a good job coming off, because Moreland has to be, watch this.
He knew it.
Yeah.
12th there of the year for Beltre. So now at the top of the order, Coco Crisp. Well, we saw a very good third baseman have a little bit of a tough series over the weekend in Evan Longoria, and he made a couple mistakes, and the A's took advantage.
Well, the A's need to take advantage of a rare error from Beltre, and they are very rare for the third baseman of the Rangers.
Coco hits one to left. Down the line. It is a home run. Stuck inside the foul pole, and just like that, it's 4-2, and we got arguments all over the place. So Coco homers, the umpires will get together and talk about it. And they called it a home run, and that's part of the equation. So they're going to check it.
What'd you have, Delaire? They're going to review it, and it's just a high towering fly ball. Fastball in. Coco turned on it and just kept going down the line, and okay, watch the ball. Foul pole, and then went foul. It hit the foul pole right there, or the pole itself. But that's fair. But the pole is where it hit, which is fair ball, right? Look down at the bottom, kind of right in there, and that is the foul pole, fair pole, right, bang, right there. It hit right there, and then carry him to the left. Right there, right at the top of the wall as Murphy jumped, and then it kicked foul. But it definitely hit the pole before it kicked foul. And remember, you cannot argue. Well, you can. You get thrown out if you argue a review. We saw that in Cleveland when that was brutally missed, and Bob Melvin was ejected afterwards.
So the umpires have headed in to take a look at it. Three of the umpires, anyways.
All right. Once again, take a look right there. You can see it hit right there, and then kicked foul. Right there is where it hit. It definitely hit the pole there before it did go foul. But that is part of the extension of the foul pole that takes it from behind in the yellow line up the wall and then straight up the foul pole.
So if this holds up, it'd be a career high 17th home run for Coco Crisp this year. How about that?
Well, it was the fastball in, and that's what got Holland against Cespedes when he drove it to left center. As the home plate umpire Phil Cousy, one stays on the field and the other three go inside. One has stayed on the field to maintain order. Little more definitive than that of Chris Young's.
That's all right.
Yep. Good call, guys. Nice going to Lara. You show enough and you highlight it and you slow it down. Pretty obvious as the umpires see all of the replays, and guys had it perfectly. So congratulations to Coco, and great way to bounce back after the Rangers tied it. So he's gotten C.J. Wilson, Santiago with the White Sox, Sabathia with the Yankees, Blackley now with the Rangers, And you add Holland, the left-hander, Coco hitting from the right side.
So here's Donaldson. So just like that, the A's grab the lead 4-2, and Rangers tied it, but that did not last long.
And Kipe, it was the walk with Straley pitching and an error by, well, it's a shock error by Adrian Beltre that started this inning. So Michael Choice scores his first run of his major league career after reaching base on an error.
Donaldson is grounded out, and he is struck out. And it's 3-0. Tepish starts to throw. Nick Tepish. And a 4-pitch walk to Donaldson. So that is walk number 4 by Holland. All right, here's our cold hard facts brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Lights. Most home runs in the American League since August 21st. Coco Crisp on top with 7. So Coco flexing the muscles this year. Brandon Moss was 6. Mitch Moreland on the list. So Maddox heads back to the dugout. Derek Holland has walked 4. He has struck out just 1.
Now batting shortstop, number 8, Jed Lowry.
So Lowry will hit. Lowry's hit a couple of fly balls to right field. It's it hard to Beltre, who scoops it, throws to second for 1, and that's a double play. So 2 outs now here in the 5th inning. And Cespedes will hit.
Now batting left fielder, number 52, Yoenis Cespedes.
4-pitch walk to Donaldson, and Lowry just looking for a first pitch that he could drive, hit it hard, but happened to be right at the third baseman Beltre, who threw from his knees.
Cespedes, a homer and a foul out, and he rips from the left field, and that's a base hit. So hit number 5 in the game for the A's. And here comes Fryman.
A breaking ball at 85 and just dropped the head of the bat. And you know, from Cespedes' standpoint, 2-2 fastball, first at bat, home run. This a slider down, base hit, solidly hit to left field. And there's an old adage about hitting, see ball, hit ball. And I think from Cespedes' standpoint, that's his approach, and not a bad one. And again, good time for him to get hot this month.
Nate Fryman has hit a fly ball to left field, and he is grounded to short. So pitch number 70 coming up from Holland. A different Derek Holland today than the last time he pitched here at the Coliseum on the 4th of August. In fact, that was the last time Holland picked up a win. It was 4 starts ago. Cespedes gets back again. Orioles have extended their lead over the Indians to 5-0 in the 5th inning. Another ball, 2-1. inside, 3-1.
Well, if Holland just looks at the game on August the 4th in this one and just do a split screen of the missed fastballs inside the righties in this game, unlike the August 4th when he just nailed it inside. 8 innings of near perfect baseball.
And he missed again inside. Another fastball, and that's walk number 5, and that's the last pitch that Holland is going to throw.
Well, I'm sure that Ron Washington, as he did last inning, got 2 quick outs and then a couple of walks. This inning, air, home run, walk, double play, but then base hit and a walk.
So when it's time for change things, Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up. It's your oil change, tune-up, and smog experts. Holland is gone after 4 2/3.
The Minnesota Twins, 7:05 p.m. Enjoy the Star Wars theme show from the outfield grass. And be on the lookout for Star Wars characters roaming the ballpark throughout the game. On-field capacity is limited. Purchase a special field-level ticket package at OaklandAthletics.com/Star Wars to receive a limited edition Star Wars T-shirt while supplies last.
So Derek Holland walks 5, strikes out just 1. It's the first time this year that he has had more walks than strikeouts in a game. In fact, he ties a career high in walks in a game. So Callaspo hits 2 on, 2 out. Coco Crisp with a home run earlier this inning. That one's hit hard. Moreland on the dive. He's got it. He flips underhand to Tepich. Side retired. So nice play by Moreland. Saves a run, but Coco Crisp gives the A's the lead back with a 2-run homer. nice performance yesterday from A.J. Griffin. 7 innings, 5 hits, 7 strikeouts. He picked up the win. So it was good to see A.J. Griffin have fairly dominating performance for 7 innings against the Rays. So A's have a new pitcher. It's Dan Otero. 5 hits and just the 1 run for Griffin yesterday and 102 pitches.
Made some nice adjustments during the game. Kurt Young figured out something and what he was doing.
Beltre drops one into right field for a base hit. When it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up, your oil change tune-up and smog expert. So Otero comes in. So Straley goes just 5 innings.
Number 12.
So the bullpen will need to get 12 outs today.
Well, they did it with A.J. Griffin in Detroit, which is amazing. He got the win 8-6, but that was his start prior to yesterday.
Brzezinski shows bunt, takes a strike.
Otero has been very important to the A's in this role, so let's hope he can continue today.
Brzezinski a pop out and a ground out. Rios will be next. And this one's popped up, and Donaldson has a play. He's got it, and that's out number 1. So Brzezinski's 0 for 3, and Beltre has to hustle back.
A really ill-advised throw by Donaldson across the diamond. Beltre will try to draw a throw. The problem there, Nate Fromm had a good job blocking the ball like a catcher, because if it gets by him, nobody's backing up. It's not like a pitcher would back up a base. So Big Nate going to his catching drills that he learned back as a child when he's 8 years old, when he's about 2 feet shorter.
Here's Rios. He takes a strike.
Or warming up pitches in between, or catching ceremonial first pitch. You're right there.
Rios, a line drive to right, down the line, and that's a fair ball. Beltre digging for third. He'll make it. And Rios, another line drive the other way. So first and third, 1 out for Moreland. So Rios has a couple of hits.
Well, again, just thinking opposite field, open up and just dragging the bat through, staying inside, and looked like intentionally trying to hit the ball to right field, which he did very nicely.
So Moreland steps in. He has walked twice and scored a run. So Beltre at third, Rios at first. Swing and a miss. Rios is a base stealing threat. He's got 33 steals this year. So that becomes part of the equation here in the 6th inning.
Especially thinking about a double play, if he does run and is successful, that you'd have to throw through first and third, but try to get the runner. He attempts it.
Well, I don't think it's out of the question here, Ray, with Otero being maybe not a huge strikeout guy, and certainly a ground ball guy.
Well, if he runs, it's because he is a ground ball pitcher. Moreland's a fly ball hitter.
Blocked by Suzuki, and the count is 1-1. Blevins up throwing again.
Terra elevated a fastball a couple of nights ago against Longoria and got to strike out. A fastball that really was unintentional, but more of a sinker ball pitcher.
Low again, and now it's 2-1. Rios has not shown any sign of going just yet. So each team with 5 hits, a couple of errors by the Rangers. Hit foul. So Holland ends up giving up 4 runs, 3 of them earned. Choice scored on the crisp home run. Choice got aboard on an error. So the count is 2-2.
But they dare try to go inside with the fastball. It's another 2-seam fastball, trying to get the ground ball.
And it's low. Moreland takes it. So now a full count.
And if Rios throwing 33, he'll be running. Gary Pettis, third base coach, giving the signs. Great base stealer himself. Now this is not so much a stolen base attempt by Rios. It's more of a start in motion in the event a ground ball is hit. But if it is a strike him out, throw him at, maybe a less than great jump might help Suzuki if he does run.
Rios goes, and the pitch is outside, and it's a walk. So Moreland walks for the 3rd time. So Kurt Young will visit. The bases are loaded, and there's 1 out with Berkman the hitter. We'll see if the A's see how they play this. I would imagine they're thinking if Berkman hits one on the ground, we get a terrific chance to turn a double play.
That's what they're hopeful of getting.
27, Lance Berkman.
So the infield will be looking for a ground ball. Outfield straight away for Berkman.
Strikeout and a shallow fly ball to left field by the veteran Berkman.
Coco shaded just a little bit toward left center, and Berkman swings at the first pitch and fouls it back.
So he kind of just slaps the ball or slaps at the ball, and that's what makes him a dangerous hitter, because he can use the whole field with that approach.
And he takes a fastball right there, and it's 0-2.
It's a 2-seamer inside that came back enough for the pitch to be called a strike. Berkman asked Puzzy about the location.
Lays off that one. It drops down and away.
Jerry Blevins loosening, and Murphy, the left hand in the on-deck circle. That might be who he's getting loose for.
Berkman drives one to right field, coming in and making the catches, and they're not going to get any runs out of it. Young comes in, made the catch, and staying at third is Beltre.
Another mistake.
That is a mistake.
And Beltre's a veteran enough to know that you cannot assume a ball is going to land. You go back to tag. And the throw came into second. Berkman went down and drove a low fastball. But watch Beltre down the line. Great job by Chris Young, charging it, catching it, really not even at the shoe tops. And Beltre in between, always tag. When in doubt, you tag. You can always score.
What is he doing?
I have no idea.
That is a huge mistake. Wow. So 2 outs, 0-1 to Murphy.
Now Beltre's dancing back and forth. If the ball drops, he's going to score. But if the ball's caught, he's got to tag and he would score. The throw came into second, and there was a reason Chris Young threw the ball to second. Very surprising.
And we've seen two pretty good teams, like the Rays and the Rangers. They have not looked good.
No, and we just have to hope it's costly. Did a good job getting under a low fastball.
Murphy swings and misses at a pitch that was out of the strike zone, and now it's 1-2.
Well, remember, he had a high fastball straight away center. And Otero just from a great two-seam, a great sinker.
Murphy takes a very close pitch, and the count is 2-2.
You know what, Kai, you got to go back to the same spot. If it takes two more, just have to do it. Because just keeping the ball down, and it's a great sinker. He just didn't offer at it, which good job for Murphy.
Beltre, Rios, Moreland are the runners. 2-2 pitch is tapped slowly. Callaspo has it, and Otero gets out of it. So the Rangers kill themselves. They do not score, and the A's will take it. 4-2 as we head to the bottom of the sixth. Eric's Deli Cafe, celebrating 40 years of bringing it to the plate. Stop by Eric's and enter to win 40 years of free sandwiches with character. It's a 4-2 A's lead, bottom of the sixth inning. And the A's with a couple of home runs in the game. Cespedes, solo shot. Coco Crisp, a 2-run shot. And the Rangers are playing like they played the last 3 games of the regular season last year.
Well, the crowd started to get about as loud as they got the last 3 games last year. Not quite those crowd's capacity, not quite sell out this afternoon, but one great walk-up, Kip, and they were saying that the walk-up was tremendous, and it's shown as the lower bowl has filled up considerably.
So Tepich, we got Callaspo for the final out in the 5th inning, faces Young, Suzuki, and Choice here in the bottom of the 6th.
And you think about the ball that Callaspo hit, a nice diving play by Moreland. Otherwise, that's another run.
That one's ripped to center and hit well. This Martin's going to get back there. Halfway onto the warning track, and he makes the catch for out number 1. So Suzuki will hit with 1 out.
Now batting, the catcher, number 22, Kurt.
The Yankees beat the White Sox 9-1 in New York. Orioles still leading the Indians 5-0 in the 6th inning. The Rays will play tonight down in Anaheim. They'll try to bounce back after being swept here over the weekend.
They have a starter starting tonight as the relief board. I think the relievers are done for a while. Starting anyway.
We're going to get Matt Moore back tomorrow, I believe. Kurt Suzuki has a base hit. So hit number 6 for the A's.
Kurt Suzuki just again. Fastball, aggressive hitting. 3-run home run this last start. And a solid base hit this one.
So here's Choice, who has walked and reached on an error and scored a run. So he's yet to make it out as a big leaguer. And he takes the strike. His error was a ground ball to Beltre at third, who threw it away.
Well, Michael Choice, you had mentioned the stolen base, but he has good speed. Kind of runs like a fullback.
Yeah.
He is solidly built.
Hit to the right side, but foul.
I'd have to say, after his first at bat, his major league debut, every at bat after that will be much easier. Not to say they're going to be easy from the standpoint of getting hits, but at least not as much going through your mind as your first major league hit, which will always your first at bat. It's always going to be remembered. People, oh, what'd you do your first at bat? I walked. 3-2, fastball in.
He is strong. Well, you stand next to him. He's not real tall, but big, broad shoulders. It's this one well to right field, but Rios is going to get over, and he's got it. So Choice is retired for the first time, and that's out number 2.
And the A's with a 4-2 lead, and of course, Seth Smith, as you watch the swing by Choice on the fastball up a little bit, but pretty good pitch to hit, especially with a couple of strikes. Don't want to take a chance and throw the ball well to right field. But back with the platoon and back and forth, the right-hander in. Of course, Bob Melvin's aware of the bullpen of the Rangers. So with the righty in now, he did not pinch hit for him. Gives him a chance to stay in the game.
So here's Coco Crisp. Coco, the home run in the 5th inning that just nicked the outside of foul pole down the left field line. Coco had a couple of home runs over the weekend against the Rays. He's got another one today.
So the A's are 333 with home run reviews. Cleveland, no. Chris Young here, questionable, and then of course Coco. That was most important. Gives the A's a 2-run lead after the Rangers are tied.
It's a strike and it's 0-2. Coco will try to battle back from an 0-2 count against Nick Tepich.
Derek Collin trying to get another fastball inside of Coco and got under it, lifted it, and down the line. And Coco is calling it a home run. Murphy said no. Ron Washington argued. They reviewed it, and the result, the A's had hoped it would be a home run. I think Coco's into more of home runs this year in stolen bases.
No question.
She has hit the long ball.
So Coco now with 17 home runs and 17 stolen bases.
There's a very short stride from both sides, and that's why he's able to generate a lot of power.
I think that one got him right in the outside of the shin bone. Watch the right shin area.
What if Jermaine Dye ever watches A's games, and every time an A's player and A player in general has a ball hit, does it? That was Jermaine and fractured. It's always scary because you look at the shin bone.
There's not a lot of meat around that.
The tibia, is that what the tibia's called? So
either that or the fibia.
Tibia.
So
oh, that's fib.
Coco's, he's not doing that great right now.
No, he's not. Wait, part about it, there's no base. It's not hitting muscle, or it's hitting all bone. He's icing it. That's Deppich. He's going to get him now. Remember, he was running slowly to first base in the first inning when a ground ball. A little bit. Said it was okay. Okay enough. Put it bat, hit a home run.
Setting up inside, and the 0-2 pitch is down and in, and Coco swings and misses. So the A's get a Suzuki hit. He is stranded. 7th inning coming up. A's 4, Rangers 2. Season series, or the final series of the year, I should say. The work of the bullpen. Doolittle, Cook, Balfour pitched in all 3 games. They did the 7th, the 8th, and the 9th. They did not surrender a run. And that was quite a show by the bullpen. Final out, wrapping it up. So they were running on fumes, but they were able to pull it off. Doolittle, Cook, and Balfour.
Very impressive.
That is what they did in that series. 3 innings pitched by each guy in each game.
Thought the nice shot of Sean Doolittle, beardless. Didn't have the beard. He started growing it, liked it, and so I left these in, but it's not Doolittle. It is Brett Anderson.
Indeed, Anderson faces Martin, Profar, and Kinsler when it's time for a change. Think Speedy Oil Change Tune-Up, Oil Change Tune-Up, and Smog Expert. So Brett Anderson is in.
3 innings in Detroit in a blowout game in which the A's won. He got his first major league save, pitching the 3 innings.
Martin is 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts. He swings and misses. So Young is now in center. Moss is in right. Coco's out of the game. Moss will hit in Coco Chris' spot, and Barton is at first. Martin strikes out for the 4th time. All 4 swinging. That's out number 1.
Well, it's different, though. It's a low fastball this time.
Yep.
He'd been swinging at the high fastballs before, but this one, after the first pitch missed, he came back 4 fastballs and just enough to get the strikeout.
So here's Profar. First pitch swinging, fouls it back.
Think about starters and how some have gone to the bullpen and had a lot of success, and it's recent as last year with Tim Lincecum. What he did in postseason, going to the bullpen, great changeup, had a lot of success, and quick way to get, in this case, Brett Anderson, a starting pitcher, but a quicker way to get him back in the active role, and that is the bullpen. He does not have to stretch it out to 100 pitches or so.
Profar does not go.
That hard slide of the back foot, and if he held up, which he did, good call by Scuccione.
That one fouled right at the plate. Profar has hit a couple of fly balls, and he has walked. He's a switch hitter. And curveball hit into left field, a base hit. So he waited on the big Anderson breaking ball, and he has his first hit. Well, he faced a couple of tough right-handed hitters in Kinsler and Beltre.
Well, the curveball is an easier pitch to hit for hitters, as that one hung in the middle of the plate. The hard slider that Profar almost swung at is really kind of the signature pitch for Brett Anderson, especially to right-handers. He throws it to the back foot, right foot, and more times than not, they'll swing over the pitch. Curveball, though, that one floated.
Kinsler bounces it. See if the A's can turn 2. Out at second and out at first. Double play. 5-4-3, and just like that, the A's are back in the dugout. 7th inning stretch from the Coliseum. The A's with a 4-2 lead. He's brought to you by Cache Creek Casino Resort. Cache Creek's endless summers, waves of cash every day. Visit cachecreek.com for details. So the A's lead 4-2. Nice inning-ending double play atop the seventh.
Oh, it's Cayespo at second base. Donaldson, a nice feed, but Cayespo, a third baseman's arm, puts the left foot on the bag and flips it underhand. Did not come across the bag. Profile hard slide coming in. Avoided the slide. Hard, quick throw by Cayespo. And he turns a double play with a speedy Kinsler. Nice stretch at first by Barton, just inserted.
So Tepich faces Donaldson, Lowry, and Cespedes here in the bottom of the seventh inning. Donaldson is 0 for 2 with a walk. He is grounded out. He is struck out. Fastball grabs the outside corner, 1-1. Orioles still leading the Indians 5-0 in the seventh inning. Line drive right at the center fielder, Martin. He held his ground and he's got it for out number 1. So that'll bring up Lowry.
Now batting, shortstop, number 8, Jazz Lowry.
The Tigers beating the Red Sox 3-0. Pfister over Lackey. Tigers played without Miguel Cabrera for the third straight game, so they're going to give him some time to get healthy. This is what, abdominal side?
Abdominal, lower right abdominal, and
bothering him a little bit.
Yeah, he can swing the bat, as it doesn't affect him doing that, but running as he tried to do Thursday, had to come out of the game. Tried to stretch a triple into a double.
Well, they got a. They have now an 8-game lead. And I'd be surprised if the Indians are able to get back in that race, to be quite honest with you, for the division.
Yeah, that's a great point, and that does allow them to rest Miguel Cabrera. Of course, you could probably care less about the home run in the Triple Crown. He's still behind Chris Davis.
Profar has it, and that's out number 2. As we said, the Yankees beat the White Sox 9-1. The Yankees scored 8 runs in the 4th inning. That game was delayed by rain early. Almost a 2-hour delay.
Number 52,
The Yankees, who have been playing pretty good baseball lately, and the Yankees will now keep a very close eye on the second wild card team, which is the Rays. And with that win, they are now just 3 behind the Rays. And the Orioles winning, the Orioles could get to 2.5. So the Rays, they're going to need to turn it around, because they have some teams that are going to start breathing down their neck. Teams that, well, they already are. Teams in their division. The Royals beat the Mariners 3-1 in Kansas City. Hernandez took the loss, gave up 3 earned runs in 6 2/3 innings. So King Felix is now 12-9.
A couple of pitchers stand out. Verlander, we saw him in Detroit, wasn't pitching that great, and big contract for him. King Felix the same way in Seattle. The difference is Tigers have pretty good offensive support for Justin Verlander. He just hasn't pitched up to the way he's pitched in the past.
Beltre behind the bag at third, flips it across in time, and Tepich has a 3-up, 3-down inning. He's pitched 2 1/3 innings of good baseball out of the bullpen. 8th inning coming up, 4-2 A's.
At 10 a.m. in the parking lot A, the pregame fiesta will feature a Chevrolet Ride and Drive, live Lucha Libre Wrestling, and an autographed session with Yoenis Cespedes. Also, 10,000 fans will receive a Cespedes rally scarf. It's driven by Chevrolet. Pregame and in-game entertainment inside the Coliseum. Will feature Latin music, dancers, and more. For tickets and information, visit OaklandAthletics.com/fiesta.
Beltre, Brzezinski, Rios here in the top of the 8th inning. Brett Anderson in the 7th inning had a strikeout, a single, and then get Kinsler hit into the double play. And it's now 2-0 to Beltre, who is 2 for 3. And Cook starts to throw. Beltre came in with the 3rd best batting average in the American League at .326. Now he's up to .328 with his 2 hits. And now the count is 2-2. A couple of home runs against the A's this year. In the dirt, Suzuki tried to block it. Rolls past Rangers on deck circle, so full count. Beltre, big guy to get. There's some decent power coming up after Beltre.
Going to try to throw a hard slider in the dirt.
And a breaking ball not close, and it's a leadoff walk. So that's the 5th walk that A's pitchers have issued today.
Now batting, number 12, A.J. Brzezinski.
The Rangers have had a few opportunities. They have stranded 7 in the first 7 innings. First pitch to Brzezinski is taken for a strike. Brzezinski has popped out twice and grounded out. He's 0 for 3.
Brzezinski took a fastball first pitch, which means he's looking for something of a breaking ball variety. He usually does not take a lot of fastballs.
He shoots that one foul. He doesn't walk much, doesn't strike out much. He's always been that way. 3 hits and 6 at bats against Anderson. Oh, 2. And he swings and misses at a fastball, foul tip. And Brzezinski is retired on the strikeout.
Now, see, he was trying to pull the same thing he did with White Sox a few years ago with the Angels and pointed back, trying to get a foul tip. The ball in the dirt, but swing and a miss, so the pitch just completely missed, and plus Suzuki caught it anyway, so moot point regardless.
So Anderson is done, and Cook is coming in to face Rios, with the A's leading 4-2. So when it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up. Your oil change tune-up and Spawn experts.
California is brought to you by Xfinity, home of the most live sports, and by Toyota. Do the math and save at your local Toyota dealer.
So it is the 8th inning.
Number 51, Alex
4-2, the A's lead the Rangers.
They were ready right in the middle of the stands.
Enjoying this one from the seats. Cook comes in to face Rios. That is Beltre aboard with the leadoff walk. Brzezinski struck out. Rios got a fastball and he fouled it back. Couple of hits today for Alex Rios. Moreland is in the on-deck circle.
Rangers had Michael Young for many years, and Michael Young kind of dropped the back foot and shoot a ball to right field, and Rios is kind of showing the same approach, which is unusual for him. Nice addition to the Rangers after losing Nelson Cruz, but this time a little full and off speed pitch.
Cook ahead 0-2. Pretty good take on a pretty good 0-2 pitch. Another hard slider, and Rios lays off that one to even the count at 2-2. So Anderson goes an inning and a third. Gives up a hit and a walk with a couple of strikeouts. Get a big double play in the 7th. Fastball fouled straight back. There's Tanner Scheppers. Been throwing down there, so he looks like he's ready.
Rios has laid off a couple good sliders, but they started outside and ended up off the plate, not closer to the plate for him to be tempted.
Shoots that one towards center, coming in, and it's going to fall in front of Young. So Rios has his 3rd hit. Kind of fought that one off a little bit.
Fastball, and again,
number 18, Mitch.
Good swing, really not that much towards the end of the bat. Chris Young trying to sell it, Deacon, but did not fool Beltre.
So again, the Rangers threatening here in the 8th inning. Moreland had a rip, fouls it back. Moreland has walked 3 times in this game. With runners in scoring position, the Rangers 0 for 4 today, 1 for their last 19. Even the good offensive teams go through that occasionally. Swing and a miss, a fastball right behind, 0-2.
Cook staying away, good idea. That pitch outside. I always saw a little bit of a movement going away, and it's kind of a half swing from Moreland, almost as if he didn't want to swing.
Just a bit outside, so the count 1-2. Beltre, Rios are the runners. Swing and a miss. He got him with a changeup. So Moreland strikes out.
What a great pitch, and dead pull the string, and Again, it looks like a screwball. You see it coming out of his hand. And a great pitch because it looked like a strike in the strike zone, or at least towards the plate, but then out of the strike zone.
So here's Berkman. Suzuki makes the block. Berkman is 0 for 3. He batted with the bases loaded and 1 out in the 6th inning, and he did his job. He got a line drive to right field. Beltre failed to tag up, and the Rangers did not score in that inning. Up and away, 2-0. There's a drive. Right center. Young on the move, and Kershaw tracks it down, and Berkman is retired. 2 more stranded by the Texas Rangers. 4-2 game as we go to the bottom of the 8th. Here's our game summary brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Home runs the story today. Cespedes was a solo shot in the 2nd inning. Murphy tied the game with a 2-run homer in the 5th, so it was a 2-2 game. And then soon after that, Coco Crisp just nicks the outside of the foul pole. It's a home run. Career home run number 17, or career high in a season for Coco. 17 home runs. 2-7-2 for the Rangers, 4-6-0 for the Athletics. So the Rangers had trouble scoring runs over the weekend, and they're having the same problem today. Opportunities, but the A's coming up with the big outs when they need them. Barton swings at the first pitch and lines out. So Barton is retired. 1 out here in the bottom of the 8th.
Yesterday, Derek Barton got the big hit off the left-hander. Got Balfour loosens up for the 9th inning. Talked to Derek after the game, talk about his aggressiveness, but I like the best thing he said that Chili Davis told him. You're going to get a fastball inside, first pitch, don't take it. And he didn't, swung, got a base hit. So he's got a pretty good idea as he talks about going to the plate with the hitters and an idea what they're going to do. And in this case, helped out tremendously. Second-year hitting coach for Chili Davis. Last year a special season, of course, 350 career home runs for him. And his offense been picking it up lately.
goes back. 2 outs. Balfour throwing for the A's in the bullpen.
Now batting center fielder.
Rangers will have Murphy, Martin, and Profile, the 3 scheduled hitters, in the top of the 9th inning. Young hits one in the air to center, hits it pretty well, but room for Martin. And that'll do it. So a 3-up, 3-down inning, and the A's 3 outs away from grabbing a share of first place in the AL West. Balfour coming in.
Of the Oakland Athletics and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Athletics Investment Group, LLC.
Time now for the AT&T U-Verse Rewind. How about this? 6th inning, line drive, right field, caught by Chris Young, but no scoring. And then a ground ball to the second baseman, and that was it. The big inning for Dan Otero to get out of a very, very tough jam, especially with a line drive to right field when the veteran third baseman Adrian Beltre did not score.
So 4-2, the A's lead. It's the 9th inning. Well, you know, it has a chance to be a good day when Adrian Beltre, who's really one of the best players in the American League, he threw a ball away that helped the A's get a run and did not score on a line drive. So that's 2 runs right there, Ray, and I believe the score is 4-2.
That score is 4-2, yes. And let's hope that Beltre, who's due up 5th in this inning, doesn't hit.
Yeah. So when it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up, your oil change tune-up and smog experts. So Murphy to lead it off. Murphy with that 2-run homer in the 5th inning. He was also grounded out and hit a fly ball to left field. First pitch is up and away.
See if Murphy is up here to take a strike. Rangers down by a run, and of course not even close for him to even offer out and be tempted. So 2-0 the count.
Balfour last pitched on Saturday. He got the save. He gave up a run in that game. And that one misses, and it's 3-0. He pitched three straight games. Thursday, Friday, Saturday did Balfour. Yesterday off. The 3-0 pitch is high, and it's a 4-pitch leadoff walk here in the 9th inning. So now to the top of the order for the Rangers.
Now batting, number 2, Luis Martin.
Well, he has struck out 4 times, and times that a hitter just wants to make contact when he struck out that many times. However, he also probably going to be patient in taking a pitch, and maybe Ron Washington even told him, don't get a lot of take signs anymore, except 3-0. But Balfour is going to have to throw a strike and a lot of strikes.
First pitch is a strike to Luis Martin, who checking in with Phil Cuzzy. And let's see where the pitch was.
Well, it's a breaking ball, and after 4 fastballs, it was a curveball. Suzuki, maybe the way Kurt started to turn his glove one way and then turned it another way, and maybe Martin watched the result or the end of the catch by Suzuki, but it looked like it did cross the plate. Just one that Kurt caught a little bit differently than I normally see him catch a curveball.
And this one's lined to left center field, and that's a base hit. Murphy will stop at second base, so another breaking ball, and this time Martin shoots it to left center field. So the Rangers are doing it again.
Now this one stayed up. It was not the sharp breaking one, and after the first one was called a strike, he hung it. So there's a pretty good chance that Beltre is going to hit this inning. And Kurt Young is going to pay a visit to his closer.
The Rangers had 3 base runners in the 5th, scored twice. They had 3 base runners in the 6th, did not score. And a 1-out single in the 7th got erased on a double play. They had 1st and 2nd 1-out in the 8th and did not score. And now here in the 9th, 2 on and nobody out. So it's Jerks and Profar, followed by Kinsler and then Beltre. The meeting at the mound comes to an end.
And we have seen it when a club is down on the road, they don't bunt to try to tie the game, but I think Ron Washington's a little bit different in his approach at times. So we'll see what Profar is going to do.
Yeah, that's a tough call. The Rangers, you're right, Ray, they have the 2nd most sacrifice bunts in the American League, so they will play a little bit National League style when they have to. And
Donaldson's expecting it. Barton's expecting it. The infield all around really playing halfway, expecting a bunt.
So we'll see what the Rangers do. And pitch is called the strike. Profar was bunting. Middle infielders really playing pretty shallow. Strike 2 call, and it's 0-2. So Profar has got 2 pitches to bunt. He's pulled the bat back both times, and they've both been strikes.
And that's a perfect fastball to bunt.
It's right there.
It's right there. I don't know why he pulled it back, why he thought it might have been out of the strike zone.
That was strange. He pulled the bat back very early.
Yeah.
0-2 pitch. And that one missed a bit outside, I guess. That was close.
Donaldson still way in front of the bag and had to be just off the plate. As Tommy Cam shows, that could have been a called strike. It wasn't too high because he could have rung him up.
1-2 pitch. Will pop up.
Staying with the fastball away. Chavez, righty lefty.
Middle infielders slide back now to normal double play position. Murphy at second, Martin at first. Both run very well. 1-2 pitch. Another close one. Call the ball 2-2.
Really, he is starting and recognizing the pitch that he thinks is out of the strike zone and called back-to-back pitches close that have been called balls, but it seems like the pitch is outside as he did the foul ball. Just kind of flicked it at the last instant. He thought it was a strike.
2-2. And he takes a breaking ball, and he was able to lay off his profile. And now it's a full count. Boy, would Ron Washington start the runners with?
Well, I think he knows who he has in the on-deck circle and coming up. And Donaldson's way off the line at third. I think it's got to be a fastball. Might shock the world if he calls a breaking ball and throws it.
Not being held at second. The runners do not go. And a pitch is hit toward Barton, who knocks it down. Steps on first, and the runners move to second and third. Well, that was a tough play. He really smothered it. Ball was hit pretty hard.
Well, he's getting the kudos because he didn't sacrifice, and Barton had the big hop, and then it really had the top spin. And the only play he could make was to get the the runner at first, and that's why Profar was congratulated, because while not sacrificing, giving himself up, at least was able to advance both runners. So the A's will play the infield back, concede a run on a ground ball, but try to prevent a ball from going through the infield.
Kinsler is 0 for 4. First pitch towards shallow right center. Moss is getting under it. He's got it, and Murphy's not going to go. And that's out number 2.
And really, that's a smart play for Gary Pettis telling him not to, because that run really doesn't mean anything. And great pitch, first pitch swinging fastball. Off the end of the bat by Kinsler, pitching away from him. And Moss, of course, a very strong arm, made a very strong throw to the plate. And Murphy came down the line, but no attempt. So here he is, the man.
First pitch to Beltre. It's hit toward Donaldson. Gets a nice hop, and that's the ball game. Wow. So Beltre swings at the first pitch. He grounds out, and 2 more stranded for the Rangers. They end up stranding 11 in the game. So the A's made the big pitches when they needed to, and they take game 1 of this series by a final score of 4-2. So the A's and the Rangers are tied for first place after 137 games. So maybe that's just the way it should be.
Amazing. How about Balfour? He does all of that and gets to the point where he has 2 of the best hitters in the league coming up, and in 2 pitches, he gets them out.
So final score this afternoon in game 1 of this 3-game series: the Oakland A's 4 and the Texas Rangers 2. You've been watching